I need you to lock in because this may be the most valuable video you see all year. My name is Sharif, and I'm going to show you how you can make $93,000 a year with a job in tech sales without having a prior experience or a degree. Now, if you're interested in securing an entry-level role, $75,000 on target earnings, I'm telling you, don't click off of this video. And a bonus, having education and automated resume send out services are going to be included. So you're not going to have to wonder what to say on the interviews, wonder what to put on your resume, or continue working multiple different jobs, slaving away just to make it by. And that's why I made this for you. This is how anyone can achieve $5,000 to $10,000 a month without prior knowledge. Now, I went to one of the best colleges, the University of Michigan in Dearborn, Michigan, majoring in computer science. And when the pandemic hit, we all were confined to our homes, but I decided to drop out because studying in my room was a huge challenge. And I was trying so hard to get through Calculus 2, Computer Science 200, and these subjects had so much knowledge that it required deep concentration. But it was impossible for me to focus being quarantined because finding a quiet moment was very, very rare. My dad had a habit of playing his favorite rap music, blasting it throughout the day, throughout the night. And at that same time, my younger brother would often shout and scream while he was playing his video games. Now, the combination of loud music and shouting made it nearly impossible for me to focus. So I decided to stop wasting my precious time and focus on making money in the real world. Now, at that point in my life, I had experimented a little bit with selling real estate on the side, but I decided I needed to dive in full force and make this my full-time responsibility. So I left my parents' home. I moved into a small studio apartment to start a new chapter of my life and make my own decisions. But since I was only earning commissions in real estate, because you only get paid when the deal is done or when the house sells, I had to get a full-time job at Amazon overnights just so that I could cover my living expenses and pay my bills. And at that point in my life, it seemed like I was putting in so much work, so much effort for little to no results. I would drive around throughout the day and show countless homes just for sales not to go through. I would be spending all day long making 300 cold calls, 300 dials, most of the time getting cussed out, hung up on, yelled at by homeowners because I was the 50th agent to call them that day. And once I finally did set some appointments, I had to drive hours at times just to go try and list them myself for them to be able to tell me a discount agent came by a couple hours ago and offered to do the deal for half commission. It was very tough, and I would come home every single day extremely exhausted just so that I could leave my apartment at 2:30 in the morning to go scan and pack boxes at Amazon. And I didn't get off until like 8 a.m. or 1 p.m. the next day. As soon as I got off, I had to go put my suit and tie on, and I spent the rest of my day cold calling and showing houses late into the night. And that vicious cycle was just repeating over and over and over again until something had to give. I quit at Amazon because I actually got written up for having my AirPods. At the time, I had the wires in my ears and I would have my hood on because it was the middle of December, January. It was cold. I just wanted to listen to podcasts, but that was a no-go at Amazon. So I also gave up on real estate because I just had so many deals fall through, and I thought I broke into tech at that point. I took up a remote job for a call center, and I was getting paid $15 an hour. But I had no freedom. I was stuck at my desk with a wired headset on, and I had to actually have a physical Ethernet wire from my computer that they provided me with to the Wi-Fi box. After every single inbound call, I only had about 2 minutes, maybe 120 seconds to disposition because they tracked every single second of my day. And if I took any longer to take my notes, I would get a Teams message or I would get a Teams call from my manager asking what was going on, why was I not on the phones taking more dials. It was a very intense job, and I literally had to stay put, sitting in my chair, and deal with unhappy customers on one side and then my manager on the other side, literally at the same time in both of my ears. I would have my manager yelling, "Hey, you're saying this wrong. This is what you need to say to the customer." And the customer saying, "Hey, you guys are doing this wrong. I don't have my login." And literally all that pressure It made my head feel like it was going to explode. It was just too much to handle. But everything thankfully changed when I came across a TikTok video about a work from home job in software sales. Now, this role offered a really good base salary and commissions on top with potential to earn six figures in 1 year. And that's when I knew what I needed to do next. I needed to make a move. I had some hope. So I sent out over 400 job applications, but every single one I was turned down. Now, I went on about 125 interviews after that. A lot of times I would get to the third round, then I would get ignored. I would get ghosted. And I was so close to getting a job a lot of times when a company would literally put a freeze or a pause on hiring, or they would just tell me, like, hey, we're actually looking for someone else with better experience, different experience. I had one company tell me that the manager pretty much changed while I was in their interview process what experience they were looking for in the role. So I had came to a realization that securing a job was really just unlocking a steady income stream, almost like having a money printer on my computer. And I had also had to learn, don't take rejections personally. They're not failures, but they're lessons and they're baby steps towards my end goal. Now, I got discouraged. I was about to give up, but I received one email back from a company that told me I might be a good fit for the beginner entry level software development representative position. So, having that new direction to aim and shoot for, I revamped my resume, committed to applying to 50 jobs every single day, and finally I started to get consistent interviews. But a new challenge approach, actually landing the job. So I thought to myself, how do these professional athletes always get better year over year, game after game? Well, they study their game footage, which would help them understand what their strengths were and what their weaknesses were. But at that point, I didn't have any game footage to review until I discovered the free Loom video extension tool, which is actually what I'm using to record this. And I used it to discreetly record all my interviews so that I could look back and learn from what I did well and also see what I needed to work on. And it was a game changer because I could rewatch it, use the recording to write a really good thank you email or a follow up email because I could actually mention specific points or specific answers to the questions that the recruiters had given me. And they didn't know I was recording. So it gave me the upper hand and a really good advantage. Now, after I started using that advantage to thoroughly prepare for these interviews, then do more research about the company, and I knew the right role to apply for, I finally secured my first offer in tech. It was $50,000. I got all free equipment, free MacBook Pro, free monitor, which I still have and use to this day. Now, since that first role, I've job hopped a bunch of different times, and I've even doubled my salary of what I'm making now in one of the most competitive and complex job markets that we've ever seen, using that money printing method that I told y'all about earlier. Now, it wasn't easy, it was a grind, and I didn't have a game plan up front, but I knew you could do it if I showed you how I did it. So now that I can make six figures a year from my computer, making sales calls from anywhere in the world without having a bunch of experience in tech, I realized that software sales was the best way for you to break into tech and make 10,000 a month in 2023 going into 2024. Especially if you don't want to spend your time starting a business or creating content or doing marketing or selling crypto or investing in stocks or risking any of your hard-earned money. And that's why I created the Wealth Club 3 years ago to lay out a step-by-step plan with added daily help, a community of support, and automated services to assist you until you get the desired offer you're looking for in tech. And again, that's without a formal degree or certification. So who is this community for? Well, it's for the people who don't know how to create a winning resume, who don't know how to get interviews, or maybe you have landed some interviews, but you just haven't moved on in the process. So if you've got zero offers, low paying offers, or commission only offers, then we're looking for you. Specifically, if you're an action taker who wants to have location freedom by having a remote job in tech, who wants more time freedom by not having to go to the office every day or drive, wake up, get ready early, sit in traffic, and then really the people who eventually want to hit that 10K month and have financial freedom. Now, these are for the real winners, not for the losers who want to sit back, make excuses, and just wait for the results to fall in their lap. The people who don't have a growth mindset, who aren't open to actually upskilling themselves so that they can add value to the professional marketplace and confidently ask one of these companies to give them a high paying salary. And also for the people who are scared to take risks, who are scared to bet on themselves, and who won't trust others who have actually achieved the results that they're trying to get, to pretty much pull them up and help you get there. And then finally, for the people who don't understand, like there's not always going to be another opportunity, especially at the pace that the world is changing with AI, with how we're seeing things right now. You have to capitalize in the present moment. There's no other option. Now, the members of the Wealth Club are getting hired every single day as SDRs, account executives, customer success managers, social media managers, and more remote roles across the nation. We even have some people working worldwide. And most of them haven't even worked in tech or worked remotely before. Now, the Wealth Club is guaranteed to help you get hired in 3 phases. Phase 1, we set you up with a perfectly crafted resume that consistently beats the ATS, applicant tracking, or the AI system that these companies are using to scan your PDF file for keywords so that you can consistently be in the top 10% of candidates and get picked for interviews. Our team then begins sending out 30 plus applications a day for you until you get hired so that you can consistently have new interviews and new opportunities popping up on your calendar. In phase 3, we will help prepare you for these interviews with what to say and how to ask good questions, answer good questions for these recruiters by giving you group calls. We have recorded interviews. We will do mock pitches with you to prep you for cold calls, prep you for tough interview questions, prep you for negotiations so that you can get offers and even earn money in tech before you land your full-time role. So I'm going to give you this exact system so that after those 3 phases, you'll be on track to have a prosperous, long career in tech within just 30 to 45 days. Plus, you're going to get location freedom and you're going to get the tools and the network needed so that you can use that income to invest and eventually become time-free and financially free. Now, why is tech sales and a remote job in tech sales specifically the best route? Well, 1, tech is a forever growing field. And joining this community will allow you to come in with little to no knowledge because we will show you exactly how to expand your skill set and grow in your tech career so that you can actually get paid while you're achieving and learning these skills and learning the mindset necessary to then achieve any role in tech for the rest of your life and the rest of your career. Secondly, you are going to be able to benefit from the guidance of someone who's been through trial and error, someone who has done it so that you can now become a top candidate just like someone who's done it before. And then thirdly, you're going to be able to learn the high value skills such as how to speak with confidence, how to project yourself with confidence so that you can be a top candidate, how to actually build that perfect resume using our high value skills framework so that you can build these values up so that you're never going to be rejected in the job market. Money is what you're going to be paying, and value and service is what you're going to be getting. This is what you're going to get specifically if you are selected. Mindset and productivity content so that you can understand what's necessary from you to achieve a tech role and how can you actually stay productive so that you're not one of the ones who get laid off, but you're going to be the person who's a top performer and gets promoted. Resume revamp. You're going to get one-on-one feedback from myself so that you can understand how to precisely fill out your resume so that companies always are going to interview you and hire you. And step-by-step help until you are hired. You're going to be guided every single day, step by step, so that you understand how to get hired, simply put, and how to grow in your tech career. But that's not even it. If you're chosen for our exclusive community, you're also going to get real-time methods to earn money as a freelancer in tech so that you can either stack that along with your full-time tech role or generate some income and gain experience before you even land a full-time role in tech. Now, we have a job board and marketplace as well, where we have referrals from people who are actively working in tech, who are incentivized to get you hired at their company when these roles are on the market, sometimes even before these roles go live on the market. You're going to have direct referrals and direct access to some of these other tech professionals. Me personally, I've been in sales since I was 14. I've read dozens of books on self development, objection handling, mindset, habits, and I'm giving all my knowledge away that I've gained from constantly trying, failing, making mistakes, so that you do not have to spend the same amount of time that it took me to get here from when I first started until me being 23 years old now. I understand this process down to a science and have figured out the perfect roadmap for you to get hired as well. Now, since the tech market is extremely competitive right now and everybody wants to work remotely, I'm only able to select about 20 people to join the community in the next week so that you can achieve this remote job within 30 to 45 days. Simple supply and demand. As the demand goes up for these spots and the supply decreases for these spots, the price has to increase. But if you're selected to join within the next week, you're going to get a locked in early bird price forever. And these spots are going to fill up pretty fast because I've got about 20,000 people who've been begging me to open up more spots. So look, if you're tired of being broke, if you're tired of having to work in person, if you want to achieve $75,000 within a year or more in 30 to 45 days without a degree, without experience, and without having to spend the hours yourself applying to these jobs, DM me. I'm in on Instagram. And I'm going to see you inside.